we can talk already, you know?
What are you gonna ask?
Just what you guys have been watching and listening to recently.
Is Emily in Paris okay? I have absolutely no culture.
We can go political. The communists have to just wear like shitty stuff. How do you feel about sitting in first class and then people who didn't buy a first class ticket come and sit in first class or hang around first class?
Well, I drove in.
Right, okay.
On a Tesla.
Right, so I was gonna start with, even though none of this is linear, so we don't actually have to start anywhere, with asking both of you how you feel about being arguably, underline arguably, the most likable people at Bump.
Well, that's very nice of him to say. And
I did underline arguably.
Arguably, well, who's arguing it?
I don't know, probably the people at Bump.
So Habib is arguing it?
There have been arguments. Would you say that you are the most likable people at Bump?
I don't think you can say.
Well, then there's already argument.
I don't think you can say that about yourself though, because that
That's
makes
why
you
I
less
said it about
likable.
So you
you,
think
then
that,
you have
but
to
you
say
don't.
it about me.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
Yeah, that works.
So you think that, but you don't want to say it.
No, that's not what I say.
Okay. Okay, so if you were the most likable people,
Well, I think anybody should strive to be a little bit likable.
it helps in your work.
Well, yes, it helps when you want people to, you know, go sit in a certain place or put on a microphone.
Are you trying to say that Malta is not likable?
Oh no, Malta is very likable in its own way. Yeah,
He's no way.
in like a very tough father German way, you know.
The enormity of their flat brain, the enormity of their stupidity is just overwhelming.
Okay, cool. So, and do you have any opinion on being likable?
I think being Southern European helps a lot. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So you think you're extremely likable?
No, I don't think I'm extremely likable. I think I make an effort to, you know, show up in certain ways when I'm working with other people. That's a conscious, you know, effort to not let like your bad mood inside the door when you're working with others that are, you know, not to blame for your bad mood that day.
To say, I was going to make a very unlikable joke then, but I resisted. But maybe now that I've said it would be a very unlikable joke, people would know that I'm
So
conscious.
you're in the unlikable.
No,
side
when
of
you
Bump.
said show up, I was going to say, yes, show up in a certain way, all but on time. But all right. I was like, how do I formulate that so that it's more likable? But
Don't say that.
low
I'm
blow.
on time.
But like this, she's always on Spanish time, so you know.
That's not true.
Which is what?
That's
Define
not
Spanish time.
true.
Define Spanish time. Okay, so maybe switching gears a little bit and you can reveal some of your likableness. What have you guys been watching or listening to or consuming recently that you think is cool?
Well, for me, it's been my baby monitors.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a dad. You own a Tesla, hitting all the key points of Jonas's personality. Okay. And how do you guys, being from such distinctly different cultures and ends of Europe, find working with each other?
Horrible. No, it's very good.
I think
He was here at 6 a.m. You were not.
No.
And I come from the east side of the country, and you
Hey,
come
no.
from like 15 minutes away. So
Hey, Brussels traffic, like it takes you less from Limburg here or whatever to get to Brussels.
well, yeah, because
than,
I
you
leave
know.
at 6 a.m.
Yeah. That's why I take the train later, so there's less people, you know. That's the explanation.
I also do that. I just stay out of like the 8 to 9 a.m. window, and then you're kind of fine usually.
Is it weird for you as like a real Belgian, right? To like have made your life and career in this weird little bubble that we all just inhabit and came into that, yeah. But it's in your country, like.
Yeah, it is in
Talk
my
about
country,
that.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, honestly, I don't know how you came into this bubble. I should probably ask you at some point.
Kicking and screaming.
kicking and screaming. But I think it happens to a lot of people in sort of the same way. Not everybody is thinking about it beforehand, like I want to work here. Some people do. But for me, it was just having a contact who works in the bubble and getting a chance to work with them on some stuff. And, you know, once you're in and you get accustomed to the way people think, act, talk, the way people start to trust you a little bit more. And that way I get to sit here on a stage talking to all these people about stuff that, well, comes up in my head, you know, like, that's so weird.
We know all about your background, I think, but the important question is, have you ever been in Jonas's Tesla?
Of course, multiple times, driving to different client sites. So that's how, you know, like we get to bond, because obviously like, it's different when you're in a big group compared to when you get to have time, you know, one-on-one
Just
time.
one-on-one Tesla time?
Yes, exactly. Like, you know, you get to talk about the Tesla. I don't drive, so, you know, having a designated driver all the time is cool. And you get to know all about the features.
Do you have a driving license?
No.
Do you have driving license?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Very
Hey, I'm a
Gen
modern
Z.
Gen Z, you know, like I'm
Yes.
sustainable like that.
But you did mention that you were going to try and get it at some point, right?
Yeah,
In a very
yeah.
You
shady
mentioned
way.
something about an island or something, or some place you could go in Spain where you could just go for
if
a week
I could
or
just
two.
pay for it, like to me, either I invest my time or I invest my money, but that double investment, I don't know. So yeah, I would love to just pay for it and then have someone else drive for me.
And famously, Italian and Spanish drivers are really good. So do you notice any difference with the Belgian driver?
You know, Tesla does it all. Does it all. You know, he doesn't even have to watch out. Yeah, he just has to be there and
I
then
feel like
talk
people
to
are
me like
deducting
this.
points
So.
from my likability score.
Well, this was the aim of this episode, to really
No,
get
this
to
is
the...
this is the episode. This is the fall of Jonas. The fall of Jonas.
Anti-reputational episode of Jonas.
I'll have to hire somebody to like bump me up again. You know.
Oh.
But I have to say something. The other day that we were testing different podcast and episode things, I was at home in Spain and I played really just 5 seconds of the off voice off whatever thing that Jonas did. And I was with my partner. In those 5 seconds, he didn't see my screen. He was like, whoa, that sounds good. Good job, Jonas. And I was like, what? How did you know it was yours? Like, I know, he's just good like that. So, see, Jonas' reputation, you know, goes goes far.
That deserves some extra splash. Yeah, splash of smoke. That's good. Yeah.
So Jonas is the only one you mention. To
No, I mentioned everybody, but...
But he could pinpoint
Yes.
Jonas's work.
Yes.
Because Malta and Mike...
Well, you know, like it's more under, you know, like behind the scenes. Like I've gone to more on-site client things with Jonas, so I get to show more like what we've done on those client sites.
I never thought about that, actually. Yeah, I guess you guys do the off-site stuff.
The offshore stuff.
Yeah. Favorite music!
Latin music. Bad Bunny in the office.
Sing something.
Debí tirar más fotos de cuando.
Continue it. What comes after that?
De cuando te tuve, debí darte más beso y abrazo las veces que pude.
Yeah, soundtracks. Hans Zimmer. And metal.
No one can destroy the metal.
I get my rap classic and also the 80s classics, I think, most favorite. And then the gold band, but only Malta heard it, but it's the Belgian Flemish music and I never dared to put it on. So.
Whatever Maui's playing, Maui's playlists are the best. Maui's like a world.
Probably some like indie rock or something.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a basic white guy. Sue me.
Says the girl who likes Bad Bunny.
Boom. Roasted.
Blink 182, Sublime, Bare Naked Ladies.
Huh? Also, Jethro Tull, Creedence Clearwater, Elliott Smith, R.I.P., Radiohead. These are the classics. People like these things. I think it's perfectly defensible.
I took her out, it was a Friday night.
Okay. And what do you tell your wife or whoever in your personal life about the rest of us?
Well,
What does she know?
was-
What would she give us a comment she would make? Oh, that's such a Brett thing.
I don't think she is that interested in my work life, honestly, because I try to talk to her about it, and she's like, yeah. So, I mean, I think Brett's wife is actually the same, right? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, I do drop some things that I'm working on with who I'm working on and stuff like that, but it's not like she has a very detailed understanding or need to be involved in that part of my life.
Stuff. She wouldn't even be like, oh my God, that's such a Mike Ball edit.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike. Okay, cool. I'm always curious about this because you've mentioned before as well that you speak to your like family, like your mom and dad and stuff about work, and you said they have no idea.
No, I mean now it's getting better. It's like grandparents and stuff that I struggle a bit more. So I think they still think that I'm a banker or a lawyer or something fancy like that. So the communications portion is a bit more, But from friends and partners, I get Brett's LinkedIn posts cited at me, so they get the updates even before I do. So that's cool. And yeah, I think more people are getting more into the sphere also because what we do at Bump is a bit more tangible. So it's easy to show in examples. And for example, last year, like around this time, I was presenting my master thesis, which I also used the ISEA event that you guys did here, before I was even involved in any Bump stuff. And the best compliment I got after I presented my thesis was like, whoa, I now understand what happens in Brussels in terms of lobbying, public affairs and all that, which was the goal I had with that. So I feel like Bump really has done a good job at explaining what this is about also outside the Brussels bubble.
And do you plan, since you mentioned LinkedIn, do you plan to post more on LinkedIn this year? As a New Year's resolution, I'll come to you about your New Year's resolution afterwards. Sorry, that was a mouthful.
Definitely. I still have my notes on my phone full of LinkedIn posts that I just get the spur of inspiration. My only issue is that I get it at 3, 4 a.m. So I just write it down and then I'm like, I don't know what that is connected to. And I don't know why I thought about that at 4 a.m. So I write it down and then I just have to sit down and reconnect the dots that I connected at 4 a.m., I guess. But yes, that's my 2026 resolution. I've set it on camera, so now I can't.
How many posts per month? If you had to put a number to it.
I'll say two. Two per month. 2 per month at the beginning.
At the beginning.
At the beginning. And then I just have to, get a rhythm, can't put it all out there, need to, test how the market reacts. It's a whole process, but I'll do it, promised.
Well, you can take August off and July probably as well. New Year's resolutions for Mr. Video Guy Jonas.
Well, I think it's become clear that I need to connect more with you, for instance. So I'm going to be asking more questions to you about where you're from and,
okay, yeah. We've had that awkward conversation before, I feel like.
Not with me.
Okay.
It's never awkward with you.
So we still have to have that awkward conversation.
All right, okay. Yeah, you have, yeah. You forgot the word really when you asked, but so okay, fine. New Year. Where are you? No, I didn't mean to say that. So what are your New Year's resolutions? Apart from connecting with me, us becoming a bit closer.
Yeah, New Year's resolutions. I don't really have a lot of New Year's resolutions.
But for the purposes of a podcast episode.
Of course, well, yeah, I should talk a little bit, right?
You have one,
Yeah, no, but I think being active on LinkedIn is definitely a good one. I think it's good to share whatever thoughts are in my head, even if they deduct points of my likability. So
any super personal ones that are borderline inappropriate for work? All right, so final question that's again, totally unrelated to previous questions and makes this episode seem more serious than it was. If you had to guess about one technological doesn't have to be technological, but that's the easiest. Innovation.
Don't say AI.
That it's up to you. That could transform your role or your job this year. What would it be?
I mean, we are literally today testing out ways in which we can have one person who's controlling cameras, angles
from one of the camera guys is you, and you're here. So there's only one guy right there.
Yeah, so we are innovating on that front for sure, and that will already if it frees one of us up, which is needed during the busy event days, because doing live events, you're not like thinking about what if something goes wrong. You're basically thinking when things go wrong, how can we fix it, and you're trying to anticipate that. And if you have no person free at one point, that's the moment when something goes wrong. So.
And Alexia, innovations, anything change?
I mean, to be fair, I feel I'm gonna go a bit analogical and boomer for my age, but I feel like in our team at Bump, it's more important about like the personal relationships that we have with people, regardless if they're clients, prospect clients, suppliers, anything that it's like more client facing, people facing. So I feel like I don't need any, if anything, just things that can streamline like the administrative portion of things, so that you get to have more time actually talking to people. And at least for me, that's what's proven to be, the best of the work that we do. At the end, it's a very human-centric job, and it's all based about human connection and what you say, how you say it, and how you make people feel after you've said a certain thing. So I hope that there are not technical innovations that replace that. So if anything, we should leverage that way more, and that's something that not AI can ever replace. So that's how you ensure the human touch.
So having been on this journey now, do you both still feel like you're the most likable people at Bump?
Well, you've certainly made me self-doubt a little bit, so and that's something I have to live with. Yeah.
Can you pick up my mic, Malta? The final question is, how would you rate Habib's likability at the end of this episode?
Can we give negative points?
You can give
on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least likable. Thank you.
That was deeply uncomfortable.
Do you actually need to answer this? Yes, I'm gonna make this really awkward.
It couldn't be more awkward than Brett being that close to my neck, but...
Good point. No, well, I've always liked you.
That was a good answer. Clap him out.